Good morning guys, welcome to another video. It's about 9:45 now. I'm down BAA's Coppice Lake, as you can see behind me, for another session here between school runs. I've come out today as it's fairly still, although they did forecast it might rain a bit. As it's fairly still, I've come up with a Waggler rod, as you can see behind me. I'll run you through that setup in a minute. I've also, as there's a reasonable head of carp in here, I've also bought one of my small carp rods. It's a Dower extendable carp rod here, 9 foot, 2 3/4 pound test curve. I've coupled that with Shimano ST 2500. I mention that because, as you can probably see over there, there's an island just over my shoulder there. And while I've been sat here just sort of getting my rod out and stuff and sort my chair out, carp's boshed out a couple of times. So I've actually got a couple of solid bags with me in my bag just for this sort of eventuality. I wasn't sure I was going to put this rod out, but I thought perhaps I might chuck it around the edge. But I've had a walk around anyway, settled on this area, which is the shallow end. And as I say, carp's just boshed out there. So I'm going to launch a solid bag on top of it, see if we can winkle out a bonus fish, and then we'll settle down in the chair and see what else we can catch. Perfect. That's cracking. Right, let's take that clip off. I didn't quite hit the clip, but that's certainly close enough to that island. Right, we'll keep that up so it's out of the way. It's sort of going to be in my own way a little bit. Not bothered with bobbins or anything today. I'm just going to drop a stick on there, as you can see. Sit the bait runner on. Reasonably tight, so if anything swims towards me, we'll get a drop back, and if it goes away from me, the bait runner will go. As you can probably tell from my clothing, it's not very warm today. My car's telling me it was 8 degrees on the way over here, so I'm not sure how we get on. I've bumped into a couple of channel subscribers whilst I've been here. One guy came to say hello. I'll have a chat with both of them. One of the guys is, it's his first time here. He's up the other end, up the deeper end, and he's catching lots of skimmers, as I found when I fished up there. The other guy seems to fish here quite a lot. He seems to know quite a lot about the place. He was telling me that this end's much better in the summer, which I kind of knew anyway. The bailiff was telling me. He corrected me on a few things. He's seen a previous video, or a couple of videos, and corrected me on a couple of things. He said, tench-wise, he said, there's one in here. He said, I wouldn't come here tench fishing. So I don't think we'll do that. But what we've done, we've come to the shallow end today, and by the look of it, it's about 4 foot deep. And I'm planning on going on the Waggler. And as you can probably see, there's a few lilies in front of me here. And obviously we've got this big bit of cover here with this tree. So I'm going to have a couple of lines, I think. One off the end of that tree. One here. Blimey, my maggots are all frothy. One off the end of that tree, and one just off these lily pads here, I think. We can just about throw that far. And we'll see what we can catch. Just a nice mixed bag would be good. So gear-wise, I've got my Cadence CR10 14-foot match number 2. My Abu Garcia 506 Mark II close face reel on there. A small Drake Waggler. Home-tied hook links from fluorocarbon. I've plumbed up and I'm sitting just about an inch on bottom. So let's hope, as I say, for a nice mixed bag. The chap who I was talking to said there's some nice perch in here. He said there's even some barbel in here. Some nice bream. I definitely do fancy coming here and targeting the bream off that island. He was telling me off the point of the island is good for bream, so we'll definitely come and bring the ledger rod at some point, or perhaps a couple of ledger rods, and we'll get after the bream over there. I need to put another BB on here, which I took off when I was plumbing up. But yeah, nice. We got a chance of a carp. As I say, one's just boshed out about where that far duck is over there. I'll just chuck that bag on it, or sort of as near as I could get it with a 9-foot rod. I'm not the biggest caster in the world, but nice to bump into somebody experienced on here who isn't solely a carp fisherman. Not that I'm knocking carp fishing, each to their own. Right, see what we can do. Looking forward to this. And who knows, that rod might rip off as well. Bait wise, didn't run you through baits, did I? Bait wise, I've just got maggots and I've got some bread as well. And my ground bait is 99% mashed bread with a little bit of Census 3000 gross gardons mixed in, just for a little bit of smell and a little bit of colour. I like. Carp rubs off. Blimey, didn't take long, did it? A big drop back on this carp rod. Blimey. See what's going on. Well, nothing by the looks of it, but we had a big drop back. Where have we got something on? We have. Well, it's just come in like a dog on a lead. Looks like a carp. It is. Oh no, it's not, it's a bream. God, it's a proper bream. God. Blimey. That's a proper bream. Wow, what a cracking fish. Well guys, that's about that. Not everyone's cup of tea, I appreciate, but that's a proper bream, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Chuffed with that. And on the right gear, that would be wonderful. Definitely need to come here and target these fellas. Definitely. Fab. Well, that's a cracking start. I've only been in the water, I think, about 5 minutes. Wonderful. Be nicer to have it this side and nice and close to me, but that rod, it's the line will just get in my way. I actually only bought two solid bags down with me to the swim. I've got a few more in the car, and I've got the kit for making them in the car. But I didn't plan on sitting here making any solid bags today. There we go. First bite. What's this? It's going crazy, whatever it is. Hopefully it's a roach. Looks a bit roachy. It is a roach. Cool, that's a nice one. Well, despite the weather, we've had a couple of nice fish already. That's fab. How's about that? Nice handful of roach. Wonderful. Cracking. Back you go. I believe there's no keep nets on here. There's the big sign says no keep nets, but then there's another sign a bit further along that says no carp to be kept in keep nets. So a little bit contradictory really, but I'm not going to use a keep net. Don't want to break club rules, if that is the rule. Now we are due for some rain today. I forecast it for around 2 o'clock, which is around the time I've got to leave. So I'm hoping it stays dry until then. Fingers crossed. Well, that was a lovely positive bite just off these lilies. Well, it's lovely, I have to say. could feel a weight on there when I was winding that bream in, but it absolutely came like a dog on a lead. I wasn't sure I had anything on, to be honest. I thought perhaps it was just the weight of the lead. It was doing that little. In fact, I think it was swimming towards me. Might be worth coming and doing a solely carp session here as well, which I don't often do. Very, very simple float setup on here. I'm not doing anything special at all. Just strung out shot, as you can see. So it sinks relatively naturally, but I'm not fishing on the drop as such. So just sink relatively naturally, and as it gets lower, just slower and slower. I'm getting bites already. This feels a bit better. What's this? Thump, thump, thump. Ah, the skimmers. Well, it's absolutely full of fish down here by the looks of it, down this end. I'll net him, just about netter. Fab. Well, looks like the roach are hanging out down by this lily pad bed down here. Little roach again. Coming right next to that. Had another roach straight away. Cool, catching some roach. Fantastic. That one was out by the tree. Oh, it's starting to get its tubercles. Feel very rough. Clearly thinking about spawning. It's rod next to me. It's bouncing away. I say we'll wait till something definite happens on it before we bring it in. Like I can see, I'm going to have to nip back to the car and get the other solid bags. They only seem to be getting more bites further out by that tree. So there we go, straight away. Micro perch. No, little roach. Fab. And there's those carp. He probably saw that bang out there. Further round than where I'm fishing more off that point of that island. And from the amount that this rod tip's bouncing, I think it's probably been cleaned out anyway. Mr. Gudgeon! Wonderful. Tiny little gudgeon. Cracking. Oh, this is fab. Another micro perch. Right. I am going to nip back to the car. So get some more solid bags because this rod has stopped tapping now. So I think I'm fishing a single hook bait at the moment, which is not a terrible thing, but I think we could fish a bit more effectively than that. So we'll nip back to the car and we'll grab some more solid bags. I'll grab a little bit more ground bait to mix in here. But this mash braid's a little bit wet, so we'll grab a bit of ground bait at the same time, I think. So guys, I'm back. Now, when I reeled this solid bag in to go back to the car, I had the boilie off. The fish mugged me completely. I had the boilie off. I think that tip was tapping. Right, what we can do. was a little bit off, that was. It's about a rod length off the island, but I can live with that. Oh, this is a bit better. Whatever it is. I'm guessing a perch by those lilies, but you never know. Have a right scrap. It is a perch, nowhere near as big as I thought it was. It's a nice one. Cracking. That's wonderful. Well, he fought much harder than his size. They do get a good scrap though, don't they, perch? There we go. Fab. Shame I haven't got any worms with me today. But we do alright. In here for some perch and worms. So we can pull him back again. Perch by the feel of it. God, let's try and get in those lilies. This is another perch. Oh, that's a nice perch out. Next to these lily pads, as you'd imagine. Got it. Again, no monster, but quite a nice bend in the rod. What a fantastic mixed fishery this place is. Absolutely wonderful. Keeping an eye on this this carp rod as well, and it's tapping away. Definitely gonna have to bring a feeder rod and fish out towards that island. But as I say, that's for another day. Today, I'm quite happy doing this. And this carp rod is doing that. I mean, those would be proper pull rounds with a quiver tip. Back on the roach. Little fat fella. That's cracking. Do love catching roach. Absolutely wonderful. Tried a bit further out by that tree, by the end of that tree. But it's I'm getting some very, very delicate little dinks on the float. So it's not even pulling under. I've only got a few millimetres of it showing. I think most probably skimmer bites. So I'm sort of neglecting that a little bit as I'm catching sort of roach and perch in here, albeit I'm getting less bites. Feels perchy. Certainly is. Fab. Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying this, I have to say. So I'm sure it's coming across on there. Another prickly fella. All about the same size at the moment. But you never know, we might pick a bigger one or two up. There's bound to be some in here. I think we'll catch one more fish, then we'll have a recast on this solid bag rod. So not really as close to the island as I'd have liked. But as it's only a sleeper rod, I've sort of left it and it has been bouncing away. Although it seems to have stopped now, so I think we'll have a recast on that in a minute. Well, got one of the culprits of the very delicate bites. Further out, I'm guessing it's a skimmer. Yep. Definitely got skimmers going on that line out there. So it's shotted right down, and it's not even going under. There's only 1 or 2 mil showing, and it's not even going under. It's just sort of pulling, and a few rings appear around it. Culprit. Thought perhaps it was skimmers. They do give very, very delicate bites, don't they? Right, I think before we cast this back in, we'll recast that other rod. I'd be surprised if they hadn't pulled this buoy off again. Oh, they haven't, to be fair. Just got a short length of lead core there with a 2-ounce lead on, and a pink pop-up on there, which I've got just enough weight in the lead to sink it, in the hook to sink it, and sticking another one on. I sat up and tied him at home the other day because another session at Linear booked this time. I should be taking my daughter. I say should, as long as she still wants to come on the day. The youngest. Right, I'm going to have to stand up to fling this out. We'll give that an hour. And I've got one more bag tied up, so we'll give that an hour and then we'll chuck the last bag out. It's 20 past 12 now. So we've got sort of 2 hours tops. We'll give that one an hour, and then we'll chuck another one out after an hour. Ooh, that's a gudgeon. Who doesn't love a gudgeon? Wonderful. Keep still, keep still. Let's have a look at you. God, a lively chap. Wonderful stuff. Well, lovely roach from under the tree. Cracking. So many roach and bream in here. I'm surprised there's not any hybrids. I've certainly not caught one yet. I've been sort of 3 times now fishing the Waggler. Well, and the pole. And not caught a single hybrid, which is surprising. A lot of these roach, clearly the males, again, their spawning tubercles are very, very rough to the touch. They're certainly getting ready to spawn. Can't imagine they have spawned yet. It's still relatively cold. I've not done the water temperature, but might as well do it. See what it is. Everywhere's warming up so slowly. This is the weather. So it goes nice, think it's horrible again, then goes nice, think it's horrible again. Then it chucks it down with rain. Oh, that's looking higher than it has been. We'll let it settle. It takes a few minutes just to settle down. It's certainly gone up from last time I was here. How on earth did I miss that? Well, that's showing 12.5 degrees, which is reasonable temperature. It's from experience this year, because weather's sort of been hovering around the 9, 10, 11 degree mark, and the fishing's been very tricky. But I have noticed once it's got above 12, whenever I fish and it's above 12, it does seem a lot better. And again, we're having plenty of bites today. We're having some fish, and once again it's above 12. Does seem to be a bit of a watershed for a decent day's fishing. 12 degrees, in my experience this year, that's what it would have to be. Certainly having these two lines going, even though they're only about 7 foot apart, does mean I'm keeping the bites going. I'm not really feeding any maggots on that far one. I did earlier put a few on, but I've decided to just feed sort of ground bait over there, and mostly maggots in here with a bit of ground bait. Well, that's a ground bait, it's mashed bread really, with a bit of this frenzied hemp in it. I've not got any Sensus 3000 with me, that's what's mixed in here already. Whatever it is, keeps jumping out over here. I'm really thinking perhaps I'm missing a trick here. I should be putting a bag over there. There's certainly some fish showing. I'm not actually seeing what it is. I haven't seen that it's a carp, and it's certainly not boshing out like a carp. You've probably seen better than me. It's more sort of rolling than lumping out. Because I'm looking this way, I'm not at this float, I'm not able to see it, and it's not happening regularly enough for me to sit here for like 5 or 10 minutes and I'll see it. We're on borrowed time, perhaps I'll bring that rod in and as I say, chuck a bag out over here. Just one cast. There's really nothing going on over there at the moment. Might be worth just putting a bag over there just in case there's a carp around that's feeling a bit hungry. Get this chucked out over there where we've been seeing these fish. Guaranteed though, as soon as I chuck this out, I'll be showing over there again. Right. A bit tight in here. I think we can swing out that way. Beautiful. One splosh. Let's just pull him back a bit. Feels perching. It is. Nice stripey. Well, that's a nice perch today. Nothing monstrous, but I bet there's some in here. Alright, it has jumped out again. Just thinking, fish hasn't jumped out over there since I put that bag there. I probably scared it off. It's just shown again. Like I say, I'm not seeing it. I don't know what it is. Could well be some bream or something, but I'm not going to complain about catching decent bream like that. You know, it's not exactly my big heavy carp setup. Yeah, it's 2 3/4 pound rod, but it's only a little thing. Well, I'm really enjoying this, I have to say. Nice to be able to come out and fish a relatively natural venue in the middle of the day and get some bites. Yeah, that's settled at 12.5, so we're not far off halfway through the close season either. Which is both good and bad. I'm missing the rivers, I have to say, but it's nice to do different things that I really wouldn't be able to make myself do if I wasn't forced to, in inverted commas, if I wasn't not able to fish the rivers, because my first, second, third and fourth choices are always to go to the river. Nothing else really gets a look in when the rivers are open. Well, it's gone a bit quiet. Be a little bit of the middle of the day lull, perhaps. And I had a bite on the float rod for perhaps 10 minutes now, something like that. This rod next to me is very quiet. Sleeper rod. It's not tapping or doing anything. The sort of showing over here has stopped as well. And I've seen a fish show just off the island again as well. I'm very tempted to put that rod back over there. Quickly tie a bag up and wang it over there. That's just rolled there now. I think that was a bream. And again, I missed that one now. Alright, what's this? This feels decent. Blimey. Oh, I want this to stay on, whatever it is. I think it's a nice stripey. It is. Not as big as I thought he was. Doing a good impression of a proper big one. That's certainly the biggest one of the day, I think. Cool, he was doing an impression of a much bigger fish. Well, no wonder I'm not getting any bites off silvers if there's fish like that around the place. Hopefully he's with his mates. His big mates. Let's put 3 reds on. See if he is. God, he's putting a right scrap up. I really did think it was bigger than that. I did suspect perhaps it was a nice perch, where the float just sort of dipped a couple of times and sailed away. Definitely need to come here and target some perch, that's for sure. Bobber float, perhaps some worms. Probably on fire again all of a sudden over there. What's this? Looks like a nicer roach. He's no monster, but certainly a nicer one. Can we lift him? No, put the net under him. That's a nice roach. Cracking. There we go. Lovely roach. Wonderful. This. Ooh, go on, be another nice roach. What, jaggy? Might be. Nah, it's a skimmer. Really better put the net under it. It's a bit too big to lift. Well, we've got plenty of skimmers again today. And I've sort of almost been trying to avoid them. Probably be great if you're fishing a match, trying to build a weight. It'd be wonderful. Nice weight builders. Catch plenty of them, but I'd rather catch some perch and some roach, to be honest. No, it's gone already. Certainly going well now, that spot. I sound persevering because I am catching roach there, as you can see. All these fish I'm catching, all these roach, got tubercles on them, so it would seem that they're all males. It's only males that get the tubercles. Tubercles are like the rough bumps they develop at spawning season. Cyprinids, this is. And that's what they use to rub up and down the female to get her to release the eggs. That's why it's only the males that get tubercles. And all the roach I'm catching have got them. They get them mostly on the head, usually. The roach is sort of covered in them. Well, that rain is timed pretty much perfectly because I have got less than 5 minutes left and it's starting to get heavier and heavier. So I'm going to have this one last cast. Hopefully we can catch one last fish. And then it's time for the off. Carp is still showing out by that island. There we go. Come on, be a nice roach. Nope, skimmer. We lift him just about. Bit cavalier. Got him. We'll call that the last fish. Unless this other rod screams off. That's been fantastic. Well guys, that's it. All packed away. It's 2:30 now. Got to go anyway. And as you can see, it's raining. So suits me perfectly. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyable session. Caught goodness knows how many fish. We had that lovely bream to start with as well. And I'm definitely going to come back, do a bit of bream fishing here, and definitely do some fishing for the bigger perch as well, with perhaps some worms. That's for another day, possibly tomorrow. I'll possibly have a window to get out tomorrow similar to today. We'll just have to play that one by ear. So that'll be for the next video, which will possibly be tomorrow for me and in a few days' time for you. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support. And I'll see you all again very soon.